one thing that affects their health, their wealth, their emotional and mental well-being, their social well-being, their financial well-being, is their relationships in life. Nothing else. The single one thing. Now for us Muslims, there are layers of relationship. It starts off with a relationship with Allah, but it doesn't end there. So that's why, in order to strengthen our relationships, you have an aspect of premarital education, marriage education. Okay, now you're married, what do I do? Things happen in marriage, what do we do? Family life. How do we deal with our children, when they're teens? How do our children deal with each other? So we talk about friendships. How do we Okay? Sometimes you have to take an individual under your wing, even if it's your child or your nephew or your niece. Sometimes you have to take them under your wing and walk the path with them instead of just showing them the path. And in the course of walking the path, mistakes will be made, and that's where you help someone get back up. There's a saying in English, fall down 7 times, get back up 8. Okay? So, mentorship, very important. And, okay. And then program identification, that's something that we're going to be adding an element to all of the programs we have. We're going to be adding, inshallah, an element so the community can recognize and identify what programs. So, every program that we have, for example, if it's something physical, you'll see this little guy right here, that this is a physical activity, this is a community activity, this is friends, financial activity, and what do you think that is with the halo? Thank you very much. Spiritual activity. You have a good audience today, you're lucky. Right? And over here, what do you think that is? Family, okay? So, emotional, team building, so educational or intellectual, okay? A wing of educational, today's, it falls under intellectual, right? You see this whole roadmap? This roadmap can be conquered on an individual level and on a communal level. How do we get there? Realistically speaking, that's why we have called in the pros, right? Now, before I hand over the mic, I would like to introduce to all of you Brother Mohammed Faris, right? And this brother, he is not a guest speaker, but he is a very regular member of our congregation. He lives in Allen. Brother Mohammed Faris, he is the managing director of Leading Productive Lives LLC, a productivity training and consulting company that helps executives, professionals, and entrepreneurs live the best version of themselves spiritually, physically, and socially. Have any of y'all read the book, The Productive Muslim? Have any of y'all seen those videos of the little orange AOL guy waking up for suhoor, and one of them eating a lot, and then he's laying down on his bed? You know those series of videos? Those are all the brainchild of Brother Mohammed Faris and his team. Okay? Currently, as it stands, it is now called the Productive Muslim Company. Brother Mohammed Faris travels internationally to offer workshops and seminars, and he will be leading for 3 months. He goes and travels for months on end. So we are to share with them and build a structure for them what he's going to be sharing with us. So without further ado, I would like everyone to extend a warm welcome to our brother Mohammed Faris. So okay, go ahead. Thank you for your patience with the technical difficulties. Inshallah, in 2 years we can just go like that and the screen will come out, inshallah. Or 1 year or 6 months, it depends on viewers like you, inshallah.
Correct. Go back to Baba.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاه والسلام على رسول الله وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله تعالى وبركاته. It's a self-development platform. And what I wanted to talk to you today about is, well, how do we design our self-development just the next 12 months? I'm not going 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I'm not going too far. Just the next 12 months. If we were to set ourselves in a vision for the next 12 months, what would it look like for us to be the best version of ourselves? Spiritually, physically, socially. What would that mean? How do we translate that into reality? That will be the challenge this hour, and I love your contribution and your ideas as well. First of all, I'm going to ask why we're here. I know sometimes Friday night programs can be they're amazing initiatives by all sides around the country to get people together on a Friday evening and just listen to some important reminders. But I hope I can add another layer of intention to your heart today, which is set the intention. Just set the intention. You don't have to worry about the implications later. Set the intentions that I want to learn something today that will help me get to my next upgrade, my next version, whatever that is, on a spiritual level, physical level, social level. Set the intention this workshop that there's something I aim to walk out of this workshop today with a clear idea of how to upgrade myself in the next 12 months. And I hope that's the intention that we all believe today shall have. So the first question is, what does it mean to live the best version of yourself for the next 12 months? And what does it mean to live the best version of yourself? Let's focus on this key word, the self. And here's where I'm going to introduce almost an Islamic perspective of self-development, which I sometimes think gets lost. When you go to a bookstore and you go to the self-help section, alhamdulillah, some really good books out there. But sometimes we lose track that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the last divine message to mankind. And if we have the last divine message to mankind, that means we have the blueprint to live the best version of ourselves. Our challenge as a community, as an ummah, is to decode that blueprint and apply it to their lives. And I'm going to share a framework for you today. And please, it's not rocket science, not some kind of research. If you have challenges to it, if you want to add to it, this is part of the discussion. So please feel free to contribute to it, make it rich with your own perspective as well. So let's talk about the self. Can I have the markers, please?
Yes, it's right there.
Exactly. Okay. Let's talk about the self. From your readings, I'm sure you've read a lot of books about the nafs and the self, and what is the self made of? What is the ingredients of the self? Yeah.
Mind, body, and spirit.
Close. You got two, which is pretty much the ones we're looking for. One is ar-ruh, which is the soul, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala breathes into the body, right? Just said. And the idea is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala breathes the ruh into the body. That's when this nafs is created. Okay? So think of this way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given each one's body. And when he breathes ruh into the body, that's when this nafs is created. So this means this nafs has two sides. Think of it, this nafs has like two sets of genes, two sets of DNA. It has a spiritual set of genes and a physical set of genes. Now, these two sides, these two inclinations, they call the nafs to different things. The physical side calls nafs to do. What are the things that the physical side yearns and wants and loves?
Rest.
Rest, what else? Food, what else? Sorry? Entertainment, yes, what else?
Rest.
What else?
Rest.
Shopping, yes, what else? I need a shopping account. Yes. It needs change. It's basically all the desires, right? Our human desires, our sexual desires. These are things the physical side wants, right? This is the physical needs, physical side wants. At the same time, what does the spiritual side of us want? Peace of mind. What else? What else? acceptance, clothing,
Going back to
contentment, which kind of goes peace, but also meaning and purpose. Meaning and purpose. Connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, connection to others. All that stuff about relationships, that's our spiritual side. Our physical side wants to sit down and do nothing. He doesn't want to sit and relax. Our spiritual side wants a connection, wants meaning, purpose, wants to according to values. Right? So, we're being pulled in two directions. Our spiritual side is pulling us in one direction, and our physical side is pulling us in another direction. Now, so far I haven't said anything about Islam yet, right? If you need to look at the motivational theories, with Maslow's theory of theory X, theory Y, or the hygiene factors, they all talk about there are certain things that are taken care of, and there are certain things you aspire to, right? You always hear these motivation theories. From an Islamic psycho-spiritual perspective, these two sides are called to action. Now, here's the slight misconception. We think that as Muslims, we should swing all over here and kind of ignore this side. But that's not the sunnah of Rasulullah. In fact, when three of those companions went to his house and asked about his worship, and Aisha explained the worship of Rasulullah, they're like, that's it, that's all he does? But oh yeah, he's the prophet, he must be forgiven. We will not, one of them said, I will fast, and never eat, and never break my fast. Another said, I will pray all night and never sleep. Third one said, I will never marry. And they went off. When Rasulullah came home, Aisha told them, he went out, he rushed to them. He goes, did you say this? Because I am the most pious, I have the most taqwa than all of you, and I fast and break my fast. I pray and sleep. And I also marry. So, the challenge for us is not that we swing on one side and not the other. The challenge for us is to make smart choices so we're balancing between these two sides. We're giving the help of the nafs, the physical help that the nafs needs, the food that it needs, the rest that it needs, the timber that it needs. At the same time, we're also giving it spiritual help. Now here's the thing. The nafs, if you look at the books of Islamic psychology, is either called a child or a beast. Now I'll let you guys determine that. Those who have 3-year-olds will decide which one it is. Is it nafs, the child or beast? What is it about the child? What is about the child? Why is it nafs prepared to a child? Sorry? It wants, sometimes a child, what is a child? It goes to children, what is a child? Instant gratification. Sorry? Instant gratification, right? I want things now. Like this stuff, oh my goodness, content, meaning and purpose, values, long-term goals. I just want instant gratification. What else? What does a child need?
It's instinctive. When they want to, they want.
Now, right? Instinctive. Yeah, but what does a child need as well?
Life.
Sorry?
Life, love.
And a lot of love, right? Yes. What else?
I'm saying the play and the.
Play, okay. Oh, that. Sorry. The play and just having fun. But think of your nafs. Think of your nafs. Not only child, not your own nafs. Your nafs like a child. What does it mean in terms of how you should treat it? Sorry? Respect it. What else?
A lot of attention.
Attention. What else? Discipline. I love that. What else? And look at something else. And think about this way. If you discipline a child too harshly, what happens? The child rebels. The child rebels. The same thing with the nafs. See, sometimes we need to understand that the nafs is like a child. If we treat it too harshly, and sometimes we do, I need to lose weight, I need to pray tahajjud, I need to fast on Monday, Thursday, and you treat it so, I'm so stupid, I missed Fajr today, oh my God, and you treat it too harshly, the child rebels. You start sleeping, oversleeping, you start not wanting to invest, you start to think, oh, I can't do this, too much. At the same time, if you let it go, do whatever you want. Balance, exactly. If you let it go, do whatever you want, then the same thing happens. Then it just takes over. It just takes over. Again, those are children know it. You get one cookie, and another cookie, and another sweet. Next thing you know, the whole cookie jar is gone. Right? Now, when scholars refer to a beast, now again, not to disrespect children or disrespect ourselves, but why a wild horse or wild animal and you're trying to tame it, what do? If anyone has an idea? And you train it. What else? You control it. Right, exactly. You hold on to it. You hold on to it, right? So now we have this nafs, which is like a child, which means it needs attention, it needs love, it needs to be given that balance. You got to be careful. But the question is, what is the control center? What is the control center? What determines whether the child swings here or there? What determines how much we give to the child, how much we hold, how much we train, how much we let it go? What's that control center? Yeah. I love that. Mashallah. Well done. Mashallah. So, what is the control center? Allah does not leave this child on his own. It gives a control center.
Consciousness?
Where does consciousness lie?
The mind.
The heart, that's it. The heart. The heart is the control center for the nafs. So let's recap. You got a soul. We're trying to give you the soul, which is pure, which is from Him. Goes inside your body, which is earthly, which is physical. A chemical reaction happens, boom, the nafs is born. Nafs is two sides, spiritual side and the physical side. These are two sets of genes that have wants and needs. If you fulfill one and not the other, you are not doing the help of either of them. But you need to be balanced. But then this nafs kind of needs direction. It's like a child. It's an innocent child. It's a pure child. And you need to somehow try your best to balance it. Now Allah gave us the heart. And said the heart is the control center of this nafs. Now the heart, being the control center, yes, it's a control center, but it has limitations. And it gets influenced a lot. Imam al-Ghazali described the heart as the king. And if you think of a king, he has many advisors. Who are the advisors of the king? For the heart. Who are the advisors? The mind. Okay, like that. So the mind is one. We'll talk about the mind in a minute. What else? The senses. Yes, the senses, the sees. What else? Sorry? Shaitan, excellent. Yes, Shaitan. He's like the best advisor to the heart. The king comes and closes, saying, "Oh, I am the king. I'm going to tell you anything good about you." What else? So senses, Shaitan, the mind. What else? Environment, excellent. Both sides at the same time. Environment, yes, the environment influences the heart. What else?
Companions.
Sorry?
Companions.
Companions, which is pretty about environments. Environments, physical, friends, all that. Yeah. Behaviors, experiences. Yes, words, act, experiences. How you experience life, right? And how you interpret those experiences. And there are many more influences, by the way. But just to think about it. You got this king, he's getting all these important information, and then he needs to decide. How does the king decide? How does it weigh right and wrong? How does it say, okay, Mr. Nafs, you should fast today. Okay, Mr. Nafs, I think you should not eat too much sugar today. Alright, Mr. Nafs, today you should, pray for dinner time. Wake up for Tahajjud. How does the heart decide? What's the criteria?
There's one book, and then the spiritual, the Quranic.
Yes, so divine knowledge. So one is divine knowledge. Divine knowledge that if the heart has it, that becomes the way it measures. But also, the biggest advice for the king is actually the brain. Now here's where we differentiate ourselves from Western psychology. Western psychology, the brain, reason, logic is the center of the human being. And everything revolves around the brain. Islamic psychology goes, no, the heart is the center of how we manage ourselves, how we design ourselves. And the heart is in, because the heart receives divine knowledge. The brain is very logical. The brain is, okay, I'm going to give you the pros and cons, but heart, you decide. And sometimes the brain will give you good advice. And Allah told us many times in the Quran to think about the aql, to think about the brain, and to really the brain, think about the brain. But sometimes, even the brain will tell you, you know what? You're going to wake up for the Tahajjud in the morning? You got work tomorrow. I mean, why wake up for the Tahajjud? Are you crazy? I know it's Ramadan, but tomorrow you got to work. So the brain will give advice to the king and says, just sleep, man. Just take it easy, sleep. But then the king says, no, I've got divine knowledge. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends in the last third of the night, I'll get up and pray because I know that's what's beneficial for us. So the brain, yes, it has its merit, and Islam has given a lot of attention to the aql, but it's subjugated to the king. It's not in control of the king. And this is one of the powerful things, the main differentiator between our way of looking at self-development and the Western way of self-development. Where is the heart? And if you ever want to know the significance of the heart, again, think of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And how Allah has talked about qalbun salim, that the most important thing that will happen to us, the most important thing to focus on is having a sound heart. When this heart is dead, the control center is dead. The nafs takes over, and you've seen examples of people whose nafs take over. When this heart is alive, when this heart is strong, especially divine knowledge, it controls nafs. And it helps you become a better version of yourself. Does it make sense so far? Any questions so far? Okay. Now, as we go through this journey, so as the king is trying to get in control, trying to manage his heart, and it's a daily battle. It's not a you win one day, no, alhamdulillah, once you're done, I'm done. It's a daily battle. But this is that's why the constantly being conscious, having taqwa, constantly connecting to rituals, to salah, to these spiritual meanings. These feed the heart. These things help keep the heart strong. You all hear about diseases of the heart, how diseases of the heart impact the self. The self, when it gets strained, if it doesn't get trained at all, we know that what's the term for the nafs that just takes over? What's it called in Quran? Amara bisu, yeah, the tyrannical self. The tyrannical self basically means that basically the heart is given up. Like the heart is dead or given up, and the nafs is just taking over. Right? The heart nafs is taking over physically. And again, you see people almost like beasts, acting not worse than devils, worse than human beings when the nafs is not in check. Now sometimes the heart has some strength. It's like, stop, please, nafs, don't get yourself in trouble. Or if you get yourself in trouble, I wish I didn't do that. That's called what type of nafs is that called? What is that nafs called in the Quran? Lawama, right? The regretful self. By the way, regretful self is good. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He swore by the regretful self. He says, La uqsimu yawm al-qiyamah, wa la uqsimu nafs al-lawama. He swore by the regretful self because the fact that you regret, that's a good sign. The fact that you're like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. No matter how small, that's a good sign. That means also there's light in your heart. That means this king is still alive. He's not dead. There's hope for you there. This means you need to strengthen the king and you will move to the third level. What's the third level? Mutmainna. Alright, now the mutmainna is the tranquil self. And now here's the thing. These are not bus stops. Let's say from ages 10 to 20 you're tyrannical, from 20 to 35 you're regretful, and then you go into to tranquil. You might move across these levels in one day. You wake up in the morning, mashallah, you prayed Fajr, you read Quran, you feel really good, you're tranquil self. You drive home and some guy crosses you the wrong way and you go crazy. You start swearing at him. And it's like going tyrannical self. And then you feel bad about it. Regretful self. So you're constantly shifting. But the state that you're in the most, that's your maqam, that's your status. Which one of these are you mostly in? Are you mostly tyrannical? Are you mostly regretful? Or are you mostly in the tranquil side of things? Any questions so far? Now, the reason why I'm explaining this, because when it comes to design the next best version for ourselves, sometimes we get really caught up with like self-development and reading books and the 7 habits. I want us to bring it home for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the blueprint. It says if you want to live the best version of yourself, fulfill the haqq of your physical side. Go fulfill my haqq in terms of spiritual side. Go fulfill the relationships around you. Remember, make the heart the center of your well-being, not your mind. you will always be attacked, right, left, and center. You just have to be on guard. And you'll be on guard through rituals, through remembrance, through dhikr. That's why Allah talks about dhikr so much, because it keeps the heart alive. Dhikr is like pumping blood into the spiritual heart, keeping the heart alive. And trying to maintain, staying as much as possible closer to the tranquil self, so that when the time comes and your soul has been removed, your soul is removed while you are in this state, the tranquil self. So just to summarize again, your self is made from the body and the soul. Your self is two sides, physical side, spiritual side. The heart commands the self. It is influenced by knowledge, environment, shaitan, words, actions. By the way, this is huge. Shaitan is huge. One of the biggest trick of shaitan is convincing us not there. I do corporate training. And when I do corporate training, sometimes I bring this up. And they're like, dude, man, shaitan in the office, like, come on. Look what, shaitan leaves you at the door? Doesn't go into the office building with you? Like, we think that it's completely off the campus? The fact is, we don't talk about him. We don't like to talk about him. We don't deal with it. But this is the only public enemy that was mentioned in the Quran clearly was shaitan. But we don't talk about him. And we've got to be conscious of his tricks and the way he tries to deceive the heart and make him like his advisor. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm sure there's stuff around it. Like, the shaitan is, the tricks of shaitan, he's got 1,000 years history. Right? He knows humanity's side. He knows you very, very well. So this is something to be very conscious of. Now, 3 levels: self-critical, regretful, tranquil. It comes to shifting. Now, here's the thing. Every successful person, Muslim or non-Muslim, look at history. The ones who are successful, the people who achieve great things in life, you notice the quality about them. They control their lives. Look at any biography of any successful person. People will look at it as successful. Look at the biography section, and you notice they have a good command of the self. And anyone who's not successful has very, very little command of self. Someone who's blameworthy, no one has very, very little command of self. So every success is linked to disciplining the self. Now, here's where Islam comes in. Islam says, if you submit your heart for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then your nafs will submit, your body will submit, and your ruh will submit. That's how you fulfill your purpose in this life, is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the highest form of self-discipline, the highest form of you being the best version of self is actually being a worshiper. So I know that I put this, I don't know enough space, but it's being an abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I use the word abd, slave, not servant. I don't like to serve. The servant means I choose when to serve. Abd, slave, means I have no choice but to serve my master. So the highest form of self, the highest form of worship, the most disciplined, the tranquil self, is the most disciplined. It's the one that is truly a worshiper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's when now Islam is not just this thing, it's just the spiritual side. Islam is actually how you control your nafs, even on the physical side. How you sleep, how you eat, your relationships, how you entertain yourself, how you shop, right? Even on how you spend, how you not spend, where you spend. Islam comes and says, I'm going to subject your nafs to the strict code of conduct because I want you to be the best version of yourself. Because if you let this nafs go, oh boy. One of my mentors says this nafs is sleazy. Like, it will try its best to wiggle out of the heart's control. It will do anything to wiggle out of the heart because it wants to enjoy itself. It does not like constraints. It's like a child, right? The child doesn't like constraint. He wants to be whole, he wants to do what he wants. But if you submit yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you submit to being a true worshiper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's how you live the best version of yourself. Any questions so far? Is it Friday night? It's Friday night. Okay. Let's just move on quickly on one of the signs of disciplining the nafs, which is how do I control my nafs so that I can live the best version of self, is the science that I personally have been focused on for the past 10 years, which is the science of productivity. Now, when I think about productivity, what are the definitions of productivity? What is productivity to you? What is productivity?
Maximize your potential.
maximize potential, but really, a lot of time maximize output, right? If you go to any, like, I don't know, at work, oh, it's output over input. How much output can I squeeze out of you for every hour you spend in my work? Pretty much. Personally, I hate this definition, because I find it's not human. I want to give a new definition of productivity that links productivity to what we're talking about here. If you think about productivity, about it basically as how do I manage my energy levels, meaning how energetic I feel in the day versus how tired I am in the day. How do I manage my focus levels, meaning am I able to sit and focus and achieve things with a focus spiritually, focus physically on my health, focus at work, focus on my relationships, focus on my environment? How am I able to also manage my time? If I'm able to manage my energy, my focus, and my time, that is how I'm going to be able to tame this stuff. So I'm giving the king now a framework. Mr. King, if you want to control the nafs, you need to somehow know how to manage your energy levels, the focus levels, and how you spend your time. Otherwise, this self is going to take over. Think about it this way. How many times you had big plans for the day? A, B, C, E, F, G. And you woke up so tired. You slept late. You had a massive biryani last night. I don't know, something, right? You just feel so tired. Oh, I can't do anything today. Your day's gone. Because you're not disciplining yourself, suddenly your energy level plummets. And this is just not spiritual side, even physical side. Same thing with focus. I mean, literally, how many times do we check our phones per day, roughly? Roughly. Give me a number. That's very close, exactly. About, literally, the average adult checks their phone about 300 times a day. Now, we are awake 16 hours in a day. 300 divided by 16 hours, it's like literally every 5-10 minutes. Now, how are you able to focus, not just on work, but focus on your children if you're interrupted every 5-10 minutes? Focus on your marriages if you're interrupted every 5-10 minutes. Focus on your spirituality if every 5-10 minutes you're always thinking about what's going on. That is the importance of disciplining the nafs and saying, no, we need to focus. And the heart has to control. Now, this focus can be spiritual focus, meaning like focusing on the akhirah, focusing on salah, focusing on making sure that the senses do not receive anything haram. This is part of focus. Or it could be just focusing on getting things done. That's another focus. Time, same thing. How do you manage your time? How do you, within the time you have just unknown, you don't know how long you'll be here, how do I get the best version out of me? How do I ensure, and with a sound heart and a tranquil nafs? So really, productivity is all about making smart choices. Every day I make smart choices. What time do I wake up? What time do I sleep? Do I come to the masjid and pray or pray at home? Do I pray sunnah prayers or not? Do I read Quran or not? Do I give charity or not? Do I say salam to someone I know or not? Do I spend 10 minutes, an hour with my spouse or children, with my family, and give them unfocused attention or not? Every day you're making choices. If you continuously make smart choices, I mean the ones that basically give the nafs the best for itself. Smart choice means it's aligned to how you're supposed to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you continuously make smart choices with energy, focus, and time, you will live the best version of yourself. You will be a true worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam came and told us what those smart choices are. It told us to wake up early in the morning. And now every productivity guru will tell you, wake up early, wake up early, wake up early, you'll be productive. And Islam says, wake up early because you have to. You have to fetch a break, get up early. Islam encourages us to spend time and focus on the Quran, at least and trying to make it part of a daily wird. Why? It trains your focus muscles. And beyond spiritual, it helps you focus on the akhirah. Islam trains us to visit the graveyards. Why? To stay spiritually focused and be mindful of our purpose and not get distracted. Islam trains us to have those good relationships with those around us. Why? Because it's the sunnah of Rasulullah. It gives you those it tells what the smart choices are. We need to start realizing that these smart choices are actually what research is coming today and telling us that these are the best way of living. We need to make that connection now and really embrace it. In fact, I get really annoyed When someone says, oh, we knew this 400 years ago. I'm like, where were you? Why don't you write? Why don't you contribute? Why aren't we the bearers of the last divine message to mankind, coming out and saying, this is the best way to live, and we can prove it. And we have the research, and we have the divine knowledge to help us live the best way. So that's our challenge, community. That's actually to figure out these codes and make Moses code real. So the framework, and again, this is a proposal. It's not science. So if you feel the challenge, if you feel to say, actually, there's ways to improve it, I welcome that feedback. The framework is that if we make smart choices with our focus, our energy, and time on a daily basis, we will live spiritually, socially, physically productive lives. And we'll achieve our purpose of worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and serving humanity. But there's a foundation missing for this house. What's the missing foundation? It's the foundation every hadith starts with. None of this will matter if your intention is not there. You might say, I want to change. I want to be different. It does not matter if you've not decided that this is what I want to do. And it's hard work. I'm not saying this is easy. I'm still figuring it out. I have bad days and good days, and I'm doing this for 10 years, learning this research. It is work. But having sincere intentions and working hard, that is what Allah. One of my favorite verses in the Quran is Surah Al-Ankabut, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who strive in our ways, we'll guide them our ways. We'll show them the path. That's all I want to see from you. That is sincere intention. What I said at the beginning of this talk, that I want, like this, take from this workshop, from this session, the intention. I'm going to start making smart choices. I'm not going to fall for the nafs desires. I'm not going to fall for the tricks of shaitan. I'm not going to fall for, I'll be conscious of the environment and how it's impacting me. By the way, the environment is a huge topic. There's a book that came out this year, incredible book, so it says, willpower doesn't work. If you have a chance to get that book, Willpower Doesn't Work, it's about how the environment around us impacts basically a lot of decisions the king makes in the end. So being conscious of those environment factors, the experiences we have in life, these all contribute towards how we live the best version of ourselves now. So, our promise today was to figure out what would be the next best version of you look like. Now, I was very conscious of the words, the next best version, not the best version. A lot of us have this mistake, right? We wake up in the morning, we're like, I'm going to be A, B, C. I'm going to start praying tahajjud from day one. I'm going to start praying 5 times a day. We jump straight, especially after Ramadan, right? After Ramadan, there's huge energy. I want to be like Ramadan mode throughout the year. And we just fall back. Because we haven't designed what is the next best version. So for you personally, what is the next best version for you on a spiritual? What is spiritual for you? Maybe for you could be praying on time. Maybe for you could be praying prayer time just in the prayers. Maybe for you it's fasting a day a month. What is the next best version physically? Maybe it could be just cutting down on one thing that you're addicted to. Just that's your next best version. And you should be proud of it. Happy. Don't feel like, oh, it's pathetic. You don't compare yourself to others. Or you say, what's my next best? What's my next upgrade? How many remember the first iPhone? 2007, right? Remember when they made the announcement? We were all excited. Imagine if you introduced the first iPhone today. Probably laugh at it. What? You think it's a joke? Things have moved way, way, way ahead. But at that time, that was, whoa, that was like the next best thing. That was like the most amazing thing I've ever saw. What's the next best version of you? What would you feel, hear, experience if you lived the next best version? What would people notice about you? What would people see? Hey, you look different. You changed. You notice a new thing you just started doing. What would they notice about you? Who do you want to be? I do these retreats once a year. And this year's retreat, a lady came, she goes, I don't pray. She's like, I don't pray, I don't see the need of praying, I just don't pray. So I told her, experience with us, join us, we do retreats once, it's 1 week. Just join us for Salah for 7 days and see how you feel about it. No power lecture. After 7 days, towards the last day, she starts crying because I need to pray, I have to pray. Like what happened? There's no power, no lecture, no one promised the hellfire. But she realized that that just living, experiencing praying for 7 days, 5 times a day, so it gave me that anchor that I was missing in my life. I realized I was getting upgraded. I realized that I felt calmer. I felt more anchored. So sometimes don't feel like now someone else like praying 5 times, that's it. I need to pray that. I need to be praying like 20 rakats. If that's the next best version of you, go for it. But each one of us have what's that next best version for us. And I think this goes to the message of Mohammed Faris when it says sometimes people come through the door. The next best version for them is the fact they walk through the door. The fact that, okay, maybe they made mistakes, but that's the best version of them. Don't crush it. Let them experience it, let them grow, and they'll learn, they'll develop, they'll start noticing how others do it, they'll improve. But encourage people saying, that's the next best version, alhamdulillah. Awesome. Keep going. You're on a journey. You'll improve. You'll keep moving, inshallah. So, finally I want to end with this. All of us, regardless of who you are, we have this gap between who we are today and who we want to be. I call this intention action gap. Right? I really want to be super fit. I really want to be, super religious. I really want to be a great father, great mother. Right? We have this gap of who we are today and who we want to be. That's the intention action gap, and that's human to have that gap. The question is, how do you close this gap? What do you do to just close this gap and, make it close? I'm not saying you're going to close it completely, but just close it just a little bit. There are things that you can do. Say again? Okay. There are things that you can do. For example, I mentioned, you can wake up early, you can learn about to improve yourself, you can learn the science of productivity, you can, walk through the doors and start making those intentions. There are things that you can do. But then, you need to be conscious of what your environment does to you. I'll give you an example, and this is why the importance of masjid comes in. Imagine, La samahullah, la qaddarallah, this message is not here. Imagine we all live in Allen, and there's no masjid for some reason. There's no musalla, there's nothing. Just think about how will that impact us spiritually. It's hard to imagine, but think about what that would environment do to you. You'll lose, even though you pray at home, you try best, but you'll lose that. That side of it will be really challenging. So your environment plays a huge role. And that's why it creates environment, creates space with the masajid, halaqas at home, the environment at home, the environment at school. These play a difference. So if you want to close the gap, there are things that you can do and you should take control of that. And there are things that your environment does to you and you should try to manage that. Sometimes things like listening to the news. I actually cut down dramatic news because that's an environment that affects me. Does not help me close the gap. Things like the food you eat. That's part of the environment, how it impacts how you live. Things like, just being conscious of the environment. How is the environment blocking me from achieving that next best version? What's that gap I need to fulfill? What's that gap that's missing? Because sometimes, yes, I'm trying so hard, but I can't wake up for Fajr. Well, maybe because in your environment, you're finding it hard because you're either sleeping late, you're staying up late. There's certain things in the environment that are helping you, so you need to figure out, well, how can I manage that environment? Once you realize the power of environment, try to manage it, and then there's a third element. Who can guess the third element? There's things you can do, the things the environment does to you. What's the third element? That helps you close the gap between who you are and who you want to be. That's about environment. People environment. Say again? Exactly. Allah allowing you to close that gap. That's one of the most holy things in our deen. We think, oh my goodness, what if, what Allah's allowed me? But Allah's going to promise you that if you turn to Him, He turns to you. And if you walk to Him, He runs to you. The fact is, if you want to close the gap between who you are and who you want to be, just setting that intention, that first intention, He will reward you for that intention, even if you do not fulfill that intention. Even if you drop dead halfway through, He will reward you for that intention. So asking Allah's permission, Allah help me close this gap, whether spiritually, whether it's physically, whether it's socially with my family. Help me close this gap. Help me be the best version of myself. Because there are things you can control and the things you cannot control. The part of you is realizing that Allah is asking permission to help you in things you cannot control. I will say, we'll use the gardener mindset. The gardener, things he can control, he plants the seed, he works hard, he goes out, does all the things. But part of the gardener's mindset is to let go of things he cannot control. The weather, some pests coming over and eating the plants, things outside of control. But that's where divine permission comes in. Any questions so far? Yes, please.
One of the, I guess it's more piece of advice, you touched on it a little bit, and I think one of the biggest failure points in somebody's, I guess, evolutionary process when they're trying to change and become a better version of themselves, it happens to be actually goal setting, like overly ambitious goal setting. And you touched on it real quick, and I thought it might be a good idea, help remind everybody that it is really kind of the keystone habits, right? The small little wins. Just one thing, even if, like you said, if you're not paying at all, maybe just one pair a day. I mean, people get overly ambitious, say, I want to do all five, or I want to do this, that, and the other. They don't realize that they're guaranteeing failure by doing that. And I've noticed that many times, so I thought maybe you can discuss that a little bit more.
Absolutely. When it comes to the goal setting, sometimes a lot of us, when we set goals, we set really ambitious. It's like you're saying someone playing basketball, someone playing beat down like Michael Jordan. I'm like, okay, there are steps towards that. Shall we get there one day? But there are steps towards that. The challenge for us is setting those goals. Having firm intention that this is where we're going to go. It's not saying something. Even this lady, when she was trying to get put into prayer, she was saying that, okay, I'll stop praying one day. No. Pray 5. Aim for 5, because that's obligation. But if you fail, don't beat yourself up too much, because you're a child still. Work on it. Regret it. Do it a lot. Try again next day. But at the same time, you start pushing yourself a little bit. It's almost like you create success momentum, right? The first time you do it, something, you're like, oh, I did this. I can do this. And you tell the heart, yes, this is good. You feel that feels good. Then the body soul aligns. The child feels good about itself. Like, oh, I'm a good child. I actually did pretty well here. And start giving it bigger goals. Versus from day one, is saying you need to be at this level. If you are not at this level, that means you are a failure. That's our biggest challenge. That is our biggest challenge. To have, and by the way, our worst enemies are ourselves. The way we talk to ourselves. That was bad. That was stupid. I should have said that. I did that. That sort of self-talk, you need to tune out. You start bringing the heart into it. Okay, you failed here. What did you learn? How can you change? What smart choice will do differently tomorrow? Repeat again. And start making this choice on a daily basis and continuously asking Allah for permission. Allah, help me achieve this. Help me achieve. Help me close this gap. And by that, I think this is the most hopeful thing in our faith, having this divine permission and making it work. Inshallah. So, when my talks, I always love this quote from Dr. Ziyad when he crossed the Gibraltar and he burned ships for his soldiers and said, the sea is behind you, the army is ahead of you. Basically, you either win or you go and drown. Which one would it be? And I'm hoping, not to put you under pressure, but I'm hoping that after this talk, that you set those ships, you've crossed that ship. You can't go back to your old self. It could be, what's that smallest upgrade will you do for yourself in the next 24 hours? Smallest upgrade. It could be, I'll read one more page of Quran. It could be, I'll come one more time extra time masjid. It could be, I'll spend extra, turn on my phone and I get home. What's the smallest upgrade you can do to yourself? And don't turn back to your old self. Also, kind of Quran, it says, لِمَنْ شَاءَ مِنْكُمْ يَتَقَدَّمَ أَوْ يَتَأَخَّرَ. That whoever wants to either increase or go back. You can't just stay still. You're either moving ahead, developing yourself on this journey, or you're regressing. There's no middle ground. Okay, I'm good now. I'm fine. I don't need to improve myself. So I hope that you cross this bridge and burn those ships of doubt. Burn those ships of past bad failures. Burn those ships of people who tell you cannot do it. All those ships that are holding you back, just burn them. You are now in a new land. You're moving forward. And you are on a battlefield. This is going to be a battle with your nafs. That's why this nafs is always like a battle. You need to continuously improve yourself. This is how you design. And it's not about, the titles of Me 2.0, it's not about you. It's actually about you serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and serving those around you. It's actually not about you. Because if it's about you, you will very quickly fail. But if it's about others, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and others, you will turn yourself towards and inshallah make it a success, inshallah. Pop quiz! And I've got 5 prizes. So, raise your hand, don't shout. 2 components self is made of. First, raise your hand. Alright?
Spirit and the body.
Whoa, sorry. Spirit and the body. Correct. Alright. The next one is on the sister side. Oh, yeah. Alright, this is section. Like, easy one for you? No. What is the center of the Islamic psychosocial practice? Yes. Yes, correct. There you go. There you go. All right, brothers. The relationship between the heart and the brain. Yes. Can you help me? You got this one yet? The brain is advisor and okay, great. All right, here you go. All right, one more for this. I got a 5th one. That'd be interesting. What are the 3 levels of the nafs? Yes.
Higher tyrannical. The last one is tranquility.
Okay.
The one is reflecting.
Excellent, well done. Congratulations. Okay. And this one, I don't know how to do this, but one more. Actually, okay, this is for the masjid. How about this one? And this one is the definition of on the full definition of productivity. No, the full definition of productivity. Bismillah.
Focus, time, and energy.
Full definition. That's half. Yes.
So the making smart is continuously with that focus.
Not full. It's missing. Yes.
It's all about practices with your energy, focus, and time with the best version of yourself.
Correct. That's it. Correct. So in this is section actually one of the second upstairs, not that. Alright, alhamdulillah. So one thing I wanted to do before you leave off is just write down one thing you learned today. One thing you're saying, you know what? Alright, there's a lot of interesting things I learned, maybe some things I used to know I forgot about and remembered now. Write down one thing you learned today and teach it. Go home, teach your family, teach your friends, teach it to your neighbor, teach it. In fact, I would encourage you to teach this framework, not all of it, some of it, even to non-Muslim colleagues. Right? Teach this framework. There is a beautiful science that we have of self-improvement that is, we need to start really taking seriously, start learning more, going deeper inshallah. And if you're interested, we have an assessment on our website that helps you measure, can I give you a score? So if you go to breakfast.com, you'll see an assessment. So take the assessment, it's a free assessment. You'll answer a set of questions, I'll give you a number. That number is your kind of like your baseline. And for you to work out, okay, what do I need to upgrade myself? It has an idea of how to upgrade yourself. It's a way to balance out spiritually, physically, socially. Jazakumullah khair, hope it's beneficial. Subhanak Allah wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair. Can we get a warm thank you for our founder, Mohammed Faris? I hope that each and every single one of you is able to benefit. Everyone who is here and also our viewers. And inshallah, as I said at the beginning of the program, that we have a vision and a roadmap in place, and we would like to ask everyone over here, brothers and sisters, that if there is any way whatsoever that you can contribute towards this vision with your time and also with your talents, okay? This is not a fundraiser, okay? So with your time and with your talents, if there's any area of the wellness that we have shared with you today, if there's any area that you feel like you can contribute your time and talent, and you have something to bring to the table, everyone has something to bring to the table, please bring it to the table. right?